the most anticipated decks for 2024. Make sure you guys smash the even crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome stuff. We're going to start over here with the Ritual Beast stuff, and this has actually got a lot of fans super excited because Ritual Beast getting support in Terminal World opened up some crazy doors to people. People were like, oh my gosh, we can finally have new Ritual Beast. Now remember, when cards are not from the era of hard once per turns, then you guess what? People start to explore all these broken things. We've seen builds pulling multiple Ritual Steeds, of the trap card that can destroy multiple cards. And, you kind of think about it for a second, and you're like, a deck that can pull out all of these Canahawk loops. Oh, also alt arts. Ah, yes. Believe it or not, alt arts become a selling point for some of these sets. Some people get super excited for the fact that you could look at some of these sets and go, that's it. That's the thing that I want. And, Canahawk getting an alt art actually got people kind of excited. Tying in that Shaddoll lore into, things definitely needed to happen, because we always had the missing, that's clearly this. Also, lore is a big driving factor for a lot of these decks. Whether or not for the competitive side of things, loops, brother, loops. And, just overall competitiveness. I think a lot of people want to see where Ritual Beast will fall. Also, the fact that Konami is giving decks new power-ups, these old fan favorites. Contrary to popular belief, Ritual Beast was one of those decks that many people were excited about back in the day. Ulti Gaia Pelio was such a cool little power-up. And, Ritual Beast had its time. People didn't really read the cards ever back in the day, but yeah, I feel like that's where RTFC actually came from. So interesting. Next up is Infernoid. 2 Terminal World decks people are super excited for? Yes, they are. I actually put Noid above Ritual Beast because, contrary to what you might think, the Infernoid crowd is very, very deep-seated back there. Infernoid enjoyers were enjoying this deck at some of the craziest points. And, we don't have Grasslook Screener anymore, which kind of stinks, but that just means that people have to find new innovative ways to explore these decks and try to break them. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, all right? Forcing people to use their brains to try to find ways to innovate, I think, is a good thing. Also, it's been, Year of the Fire. Unless we're going to run on over here to the next upcoming Fire deck and pour some water on it, I don't think that's going to be much of a thing. We'll have to wait and see about that, though. But I do pose the question to you here, though. How do you stop Infernoids from doing their thing? Imperm, Ash? Sure, standard hand traps, but if the deck goes and it gets a dump 9, you've suddenly got some more problems on your hands. Also, Tiara, I bet you forgot that card was an actual threat at the current juncture. So, something to think about out here as, we're heading on into 2024. And the little insanity. Also, you can Dark Fusion into the Noid and or into Evil. Your opponent can't target it. Yeah, that's real evil of you. I love little ideas like that. The little tech choices like that are things that I love to see. Now, above all else, we have Lightsworn. 5 Lightsworn cards was enough to overshadow every single thing that Konami could have possibly showcased for us. And I think that is kind of crazy to me, that Lightsworn is so loved by this community that over every single piece of news, they're able to block it out and just go, Lightsworn! It's here! And, getting a fusion between Punishment Dragon and Judgment Dragon, having those lures tied together, is actually insane. Like, I do get made fun of for enjoying the lore in this game, But the fact that we had, you know, the Lightsworn being able to bring Punishment Dragon into this and actually finally have it make use. I mean, Punishment Dragon was a failure most of its life anyway, unfortunately. It never really had the chance to get going, but now that they found a way to kind of bring this together, that was fantastic, man. Also, little Derpy JD, I think, was a huge selling factor out here as well. So, I'll take it. You know, if Minerva can become a level 8 synchro and just make people lose their crap over, you know, a simple clause of multiple milling, the ability to set up for Punishment Dragon, to load up into the Enlightenment Dragon, I think that's kind of, that level of hype is nuts. Like, when you can design cards to bridge archetypes as extra deck resources, then that's the perfect way to do it. So good stuff. I can't tell you how happy I am about Lightsworn actually coming out here. Now, next up is Fire Kings. Now, before you're like, Robbie, Fire Kings are already out. What's going on? Why are you mentioning this? Well, Fire King support is not done yet. Actually, Year of the Fire is not done yet. And I find this kind of interesting as a discussion point here is, you know, people are, well, first of all, the Fire King community, holy crap, I didn't realize how many people loved that deck either. Like, I don't know, it's not until, like, a deck gets its next wave of support that you're able to see the amount of people that are excited for an archetype. You know how many people are jumping for joy at the chance to play an archetype. And, you know, I wanted to give a shout out to these people because, you know, they're currently enjoying Fire Kings in the current iteration, but the power-ups are going to send this deck into the next dimension. Like, as you're upgrading this deck into the next levels of power, it becomes a little bit of a destructive engine. Also, you know, when you're mixing Snake Eyes cards into it, a lot of this extra OTK fodder to kind of help accelerate the deck, I feel like it becomes infinitely better. So, once again, we'll kind of have to wait and see if Fire King lives up to its hype in the TCG. I really do think it will. I think a lot of people out here that are kind of looking at this, especially post-ban list, you know, people like, you know, it's not going to do its thing. I highly doubt that it's going to miss the mark. Like, it just does not make sense for this to kind of fall off. But we'll have to wait and see. But in terms of anticipation, full power. And next up, I want to put the Egyptian gods here. Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra. You know, we are on the 25th anniversary of the game. And, of course, I mean, in true fashion, you never know where you're going to find Egyptian god support lurking around a corner. And with that potential, I mean, there's always going to be, hey, you know, Obelisk support. You know, we're still missing a leveled up hierarchy Obelisk. You know, the ability in Yu-Gi-Oh! Our Obelisk was able to ascend hierarchies and clash with the Wicked Avatar. And that is a thing that is canon that we do not currently have. We have the ability to rank up Obelisk, but we don't have really anything to kind of assist, or a new Obelisk card that says, hey, you know, do this while this is equipped on Obelisk, or something like that. Like, that is something that I think we're going to have to wait for in terms of hierarchy upgrades, but, you know, Egyptian god support is always on the table. It is always one of the coolest ideas that you could bring to a game. And, I mean, you've also heard me squeal like a little schoolgirl over in the corner going, oh my god, Toon Egyptian gods! Like, what's the potential for this? Like, that's where my excitement is right now. I'm off in La La Land with the Toon Egyptian gods, hoping that, you know, we get something really, really cool out of that. So, those are what I think are the most anticipated decks of 2024. What do you think? Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.